I'm Kendra Cook, your host for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado. The Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV with support from the Southwest Colorado TV Translators Association. That's the Special District Association responsible for bringing the area free-to-access TV stations over the air by antenna. This is a community TV station. If there is a news story or event information that you would like to share, you can call us. It's 970-677-4119. And if you're a business or organization, we welcome you to find out about sponsorship opportunities for banners or video segments run on the channel. This is the Monday program for June 22nd, 2020. DCTV Daily News. KDVR Denver Fox 31 reported on the updates from the state offices regarding a response to COVID-19. They write that Governor Jared Polis has extended the state of disaster emergency for Colorado. In addition, Polis says additional funds will be provided for response activities due to COVID-19. That makes another 30 days from June 20th, making the next date July 20th, 2020 at this time. Quote, Coloradans have done a great job wearing masks when leaving the house, staying physically distant from others, and washing our hands, but we are only a few short steps ahead of the virus and we need to do better. The data is now starting to show a reversal of some of our gains. The 3-day moving average for cases is now going up in our state, said Polis. This emergency extension helps Colorado further support our response efforts and remain prepared in the face of this global pandemic. I encourage all Coloradans to stay vigilant and we will get through this together, end quote. With the extension of this order, the Colorado National Guard will continue to support and provide planning resources to Colorado and local authorities. The amount of funds previously made available to CDPHE will increase by $12,600,000, and the Colorado Department of Public Safety will receive an additional $6,700,000 for COVID-19 response activities, according to the order. Although Polis said in previous news conferences that data is showing a decline in cases, he is still encouraging Coloradans to wear masks and for businesses to continue to protect their employees by enforcing mask requirements. Quote, while we are doing our best to help people access public services virtually from the safety of your home, customers needing in-person services at our state and county government facilities will now also be safer by ensuring that those around them wear facial masks, and I continue to encourage other businesses to make the right decision to protect their employees and customers by putting in place and enforcing mask requirements, said Polis. On Saturday, Polis also signed an executive order that will increase the Medicaid home health workforce and eliminate cost sharing for COVID-19 testing and treatment for Medicaid enrollees. Quote, this executive order suspends certain statutes to preserve the state's Medicaid home health workforce and protect Medicaid enrollees from COVID-19 by reducing the need for in-person visits. I also temporarily suspend regulatory requirements for cost sharing for COVID-19 testing and treatment for Medicaid enrollees, the order states. Lastly, Polis extended Executive Order D 2020-111, which extends the expiration date of licenses and other documents. And locally, we saw a notice from the Dolores County Public Health Department on Facebook that the number of county residents tested as of June 9th is now 61, and we still have 0 cases. All came back negative. However, as more testing is made available in our region, the mathematical chances of getting more positive tests to come through the system is not necessarily a reflection of an increase or surge, but maybe the accounting on the end of the viral season as more population who have stayed sedentary at home and may be overstressed have also possibly lessened their immune systems to become susceptible to any of many viral infections out there, to have them decide to be tested, and especially when in some locations those tests are now free and don't need a doctor's note. Of all of the guidance put forth thus far in 2020, certainly washing your hands and staying home if you feel sick are 2 tried and true ways we have always tried to keep populations safe from disease spread, so don't stop that now. And now let's take a look at the local weather for the week ahead. Today, sunny with a high near 87 degrees expected, with northwest winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour and some gusts to 25. And we have a red flag warning in effect until 9 p.m. tonight, so it is dry out there with still no rains in our forecast. Tonight, mostly clear and a low around 56 degrees with north winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, again gusty to 25. And for Tuesday, hot again, sunny with a high near 89 degrees. Repeat for the wind potential from the north-northeast, 5 to 15 miles an hour and gusts to 25. Tuesday night, clear with a low around 56 degrees with winds calming down overnight. But then for Wednesday, another hot one, sunny and a high near or over 89 degrees with light and variable winds, slight chance for 20-mile-an-hour gusts. And then for Wednesday night, partly cloudy and a low around 59. Perhaps for Thursday, some clouds may accumulate and still mostly sunny with a high near 89 degrees. And Thursday night, partly cloudy and a low around 57. Into Friday, mostly sunny and a high near 86. Friday night, cloudy, partly with a low around 54. And Saturday, starting off a nice weekend, sunny with a high near 85 degrees with Saturday night mostly clear and a low around 56. And now, back to the news. So in a year of pandemic challenges, as the president put it, cold stone crazy rioters, and an upside-down illogical divisiveness giving the archons lots to eat on, the thought that just taking the impact of the Project COVID-19 was bad and dangerous enough, the year is just coming up on halfway through. Take the town of Silverton and the DS&G issues for the past couple of years since the 416 fire. Now, add a rain downpour to wipe out tracks. Bet you didn't see that one coming. The Durango Herald reported of a recent rainstorm that has washed out a significant portion of the Durango and Silverton narrow gauge railroad's tracks. That will effectively be cutting off the railroad from Silverton for the next 8 to 16 weeks. Quote, "What a devastating situation for us," said John Harper, general manager of American Heritage Railways, which owns the DNS&G. Harper said a hiker alerted the DNS&G of a massive log jam at one of the railroad's bridges that crosses Elk Creek, a tributary of the Animas River, about 5 miles below Silverton. Upon further investigation and inspection, it appears a significant rainstorm in the past week or two brought down a massive amount of debris from the Elk Creek drainage, which jammed at the railroad's bridge. The log jam then caused Elk Creek to overflow and wash out more than 40 feet of the DNS&G's tracks. Now we can't get through and have no access to Silverton, Harper said. The DNS&G shut down in March because of the novel coronavirus outbreak and plans to resume on Tuesday limited runs from the Rockwood station to Cascade, which is not affected by this recent washout. But DS&G officials had hoped to resume the full trip to Silverton as soon as feasibly possible, or as an alternative, start trips based out of Silverton to either Elk Creek or Needleton, both popular hiking areas. Unfortunately, this has really set us back a significant amount of time, Harper said. DNS&G crews are evaluating the damage, Harper said, and hope to start removing debris this week. A full repair of the washed out tracks, however, could take that 8 to 16 weeks, he said. It's going to take a significant effort from the railroad, he said. It's not going to be fixed in the next month or two. Harper said that the bridge is at risk for significant damage. Members of the public hiking in the area should also exercise caution in case of another washout or if the ground erodes. Hikers should be also aware about hiking on the tracks, which is illegal, Harper said. The news likely comes as a significant setback for Silverton businesses, a tourist-dependent economy that relies heavily on the riders the DNS&G brings into town. A call to the Silverton Area Chamber of Commerce was not immediately returned on Monday morning. "It's not good for anyone, unfortunately," Harper said, "but we'll get through it. It's just another bump in the road. Hopefully, we'll get to Silverton towards the end of the summer." And my opinion that the ripples of all of these business closings and delays will be far-reaching, that no type of living wage bandage can keep the bleeding from leaking out. But hang in there, creative people with drive and ambition and thoughtfulness should be able to prevail long-term. The Colorado Independent reported on the final outcome of the property tax break for people over 65 who have lived in their homes for at least the past 10 years, and that had been in jeopardy of being cut, which would have put a strain on our fixed-income older population. Here in Dolores County, that is over 200 entities and properties affected. The Dolores County Treasurer's Office, along with most of all of the treasurers across the state, had requested that that part of the budget not be cut out, and are thrilled on the notice that after all adjustments, this tax break was able to stay in place. When the dust is settled on the new state budget last week, a crucial program aimed at helping seniors and disabled veterans that originally was recommended for elimination got funded after all. El Paso County Assessor Steve Schleicher says in a news release that the senior homestead property tax exemption will be funded for the tax year of 2020. We wrote about the possibility it would be cut previously. Quote, "This is great news," Schleicher said in a release. "Many of our citizens and disabled veterans live on fixed incomes and couldn't afford the Colorado legislature balancing the state budget on their backs. That's why many local officials and I rallied together to voice strong support for this property tax exemption. It is nice to see our needs and voices were heard, end quote. The release also noted that on May 19th, the Board of County Commissioners voted unanimously to support a resolution calling for the exemption to be preserved. That resolution, backed by other elected officials as well, including the clerk and recorder, treasurer, coroner, district attorney, sheriff, and surveyor. Here in Dolores County, they also presented a resolution. The resolution was sent to the Colorado Joint Budget Committee and area legislatures. The Colorado legislature voted to fund the exemption in the budget that was passed before the legislative session ended last week. Governor Jared Polis is expected to sign the budget into law very soon, the release said. From the Colorado Sun in the Journal, the saga of the possibility for more wolf reintroduction continues. Photo CPW. As the wolf reintroduction fight howls in Colorado, wildlife officials are fielding more reports from people who suspect that they've spotted a wolf in the wild. A release from Colorado Parks and Wildlife last week noted they are tracking a wolf in Jackson County and a pack of 6 wolves in northwest Colorado. The agency reported a, quote, credible wolf sighting in the Laramie River Valley of Larimer County and posted photos of a, quote, large wolf-like animal spotted by campers in Grand County. Wildlife biologists also reported that analysis of scat from the pack in Moffat County revealed the presence of a parasite that can lead to hydatid disease in livestock, deer, elk, and moose. Through a rare chain of events that involves people inadvertently eating infected poop, people can contract the disease from dogs. Voters will decide on wolf reintroduction in November with a ballot measure that directs Colorado Parks and Wildlife to begin reintroducing 10 gray wolves a year in the state starting in 2023. Wolf reintroduction opponent Denny Behrens, who leads the Stop Wolf Coalition, which includes the support of commissioners from 39 rural Colorado counties, last week warned in a fundraising email that the discovery of disease in wolf scat presents, quote, a major public health and safety threat in Colorado. His group filed open records requests for reports from state biologists analyzing the pack in Moffat County. Quote, we can't let pro-wolf radicals put people at risk for their insane agenda, wrote Behrens, who last year traveled to Idaho to interview an unidentified woman who suspects she contracted hydatid disease from wolves. Colorado Parks and Wildlife biologists studied scat from wolves in northwest Colorado and determined that the several members of the pack there were infected with a parasitic tapeworm common in wolves in Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. The Echinococcus tapeworm is transferred through eggs in the scat of wolves, dogs, and coyotes to sheep, cattle, goats, moose, and elk that eat the feces and contract hydatid cysts. Dogs can catch the disease when they eat an infected animal, and people can catch the disease when they accidentally ingest solid food or water contaminated by dog waste. Human cases are rare, reads the Centers for Disease Control page on the Echinococcus parasite. And a quick note that the primary ballots are due back to the clerk's office by June 30th. Please do your part. And the 2020 census.gov is also still open to reply and be counted. You can easily do that online or on the phone if you didn't receive a package at your home address. And many of these articles and links and stories are shared and posted on our Facebook page, which is DCTV Daily News, where you can also watch the program replay along with news, links, stories of local interest, and you too can share other events or news there and join in on the conversation. Again, this is your local community TV station, so if you have something you'd like to share, contact us. The email is dcbnnews@gmail.com or call 970-677-4119. Thanks for tuning in to DCTV Daily News. Programs are broadcast Monday through Friday with replays online on our YouTube channel and the DCTV Daily News page on Facebook. And if you like the program, please do like and follow us on Facebook and share it with your friends and family. This has been a production of DCTV for the DCTV Daily News program out of Dove Creek, Colorado, USA. I'm Kendra Cook. Again, thank you for watching.